Hello and welcome to this week's devlog for my procedural exploration game. This week was a bit complicated because most of it was Christmas. However, I did still manage to get quite a bit of work done to finally integrate the world switching logic, as well as add a randomly generated dungeon to showcase it. The dust mite nests, as I ended up calling them, were a really interesting addition to the game, so here's how I did it. So I'm just working on trying to implement some of these discoverable nest things in the desert. So I'm just using a sort of stand-in mesh at the moment, which is this dumb totem pole. When you head over it, you get a visit option, and then you get taken to this place at the moment, which of course won't be there in the final thing. So I guess really I just need to make it a proper mesh now. Oh, there it is. Yeah, see, this sort of thing is going to be the problem. See how the world's sticking through it there? And also, it doesn't fit on the terrain at all. I'm going to have to sort that out, but that's going to have to be done in code. Like, I'm going to have to modify the altitude to change depending on where the place actually is. But this black is meant to be just blackness, so the fact that it casts shadows onto the blackness is kind of dumb. I'm just kind of experimenting with a bit of debris around the outside of the nest, which actually looks kind of cool. So it's all just randomly placed. Some of it does kind of fall into the world a little bit, but again, that's probably part of the effect. Hey! Oh, I quite like that. All things considered, the skulls actually do kind of add quite a bit to it. It's a good look. I'm going to have a system where you can't place certain things next to other certain things. Like the beehive wouldn't spawn that close to the thing, it doesn't make any sense. But I do like the skulls around the outside. Probably the biggest problem with these procedural dungeons is that they're boring. But also you can just walk straight through walls like that. That makes sense, doesn't it? Well, here's what it looks like me generating points to put the dungeon in. That's a great dungeon. At least I know it's actually placing the player on a bit of land. So for some reason my while loop is screwing everything up. But then it stops printing, which I don't understand. What is going on? Oh, I hate while loops. I just don't understand this at all. So it calls it once, it gets values, it goes back in the loop. Oh, it's because I keep doing that. Maybe. Okay, actually, yeah, that was a stupid bug. This is one of these things that would have been picked up if I had a better compiler though, but like shadowing variables is... So this shadows that. Hey, oh, there we go. Look at this! This is the best dungeon that's ever existed in this game. This is the problem, it can start to draw weird looking blobs. And they do seem to gravitate towards the bottom. Maybe not. Hey. Yeah, it's a bit better. Yeah, I mean it's roughly there. I mean these sorts of tunnels are kind of what I'm looking for. I just need to get some different tile sets for the underground spookiness. Okay, I think I've lost a bunch of footage, so I'm probably going to have to re-record all this stuff. Essentially, the main thing I've done is worked on some of the desert nest things. So I recolored the whole area. So it kind of looks like it's made of gold, but you know, I can fix it over time. The main thing is, firstly, this is still based on the procedural dungeon logic. I've just kind of retrofitted it a bit. So the main thing I'm doing is just generating a bunch of points around the map and then connecting them up with the Brazenham line algorithm thing. And I'm just adding a bit of a radius around the line as well to just make the lines a bit bigger. So this is kind of giving the impression that this nest was actually made by some sort of weird collection of creepy crawlies. The other thing is I've got like slight decorations, so like randomly spawning skulls and that sort of thing. You can actually just walk up to them and destroy them. Every now and again it'll spawn a chest, which is like meant to be what the reward is. It's coming along, there's a few things. The main thing you can't do is leave, so I need to add a ladder or something like that. I haven't really figured that out because I mean from a lore perspective it doesn't really make any sense that there'd be a ladder there, but this is all going in the open source base anyway, so I think I care more about the technical system than anything. Speaking of technical systems, this is all still based on the procedural dungeon logic I wrote before. So what you can now do in the preparer is give it a dungeon type. So there's also the catacomb, which is just the original one, which generates you a totally different map. Point is, you can have different tiles and you can have different algorithms to generate stuff. At the moment, all I do is just an if statement to check which one. So we've got corridors and rooms. All the rooms one does is it just generates a bunch of rectangles and then flood fills them together. This one, all it's doing is generating points and connecting them up. So they're actually quite simple algorithms, but you know, honestly, it's quite effective for what it needs to be. I could see how you might think this would be some sort of bug's nest. I'm probably just going to get cracking on adding the actual enemies to go down here, and also maybe adding the option to leave. I feel like we need that. The most universal game object that also happens to be super easy to edit in a voxel tool. Descend just takes you into another nest. But, I mean, actually that's kind of interesting. Oh my god. Look at that, that's so weird. Yeah, look, this skeleton can't be attacked. Which says that it wasn't properly destroyed. The thing is that the procedural dungeon probably never actually had any of this stuff tested, that it shut down properly. But, like, it's all set up on the same node, so in theory, as long as this node is destroyed. But I guess it's not, because it's queued. So when the active world changes... So maybe I need one of these bad boys. Okay, that's better. Oh, wait. Oh, the characters are still there. Yeah, that's probably why. I had that issue before in some other place. Okay, nice, nice, nice. So if I pop the world now, then I should go back to the dungeon that I was just in. Oh! Boop. Okay, so I've got a squiggly. Pop world. Back here! Nice. Oh! That's beautiful. And that goes to show, see, all that time I spent building that world system. Which was a nightmare. So I go down here, it's all saved. And then I go down here, and that's all saved. And then if I pop, it'll do that, and do it again. There we go. Oh! Yes! And if any of you guys are wondering why I'm using the word pop, then you should look up stack theory. I think it's actually starting to make progress. So essentially somewhere in each map you have a ladder. So there's an up ladder and a down ladder. So this is the up one and it says ascend. So if I was to go over here and then hit ascend or descend, I get taken into one of these desert bug places. It was literally a few lines modification to the code in order to get it to look like this. So I'm really happy about that. So that's fantastic. And you can see how it just sort of saves the state. So if I did something like, let's do a beehive, and then went back under a layer, and then if I go back up, hey, look, everything's still the same as it was before. So that's fantastic. All these systems that I spent like literally all of last year building, well not literally, but a lot of last year building, are now all starting to work together. So I'm so happy about that. Okay, so we go in the desert and then find the entrance to the dungeon, which happens to have been built on the top of a river. Wow, look at that. Right, so if I go down here, then hopefully, yes. Oh! Yes! I guess part of the problem is that it will take you to a different map each time. So you could keep going in and farming it for whatever resources. Okay, so if I go back here now, then I should get taken to the other world. Yay! What? What more do you want in life? Okay, time for lunch. I should have gone that way. hang on, let's do that again. So it turns out I have to go home for the Christmas holidays. Can you believe? I've got a few hours, so I think I'm just gonna put the dust mites. I'm calling them dust mites. I don't know what they're gonna be called in the final game. So I just need to get some creepy crawlies in there. Okay, so if that's what the crabs look like. The problem I'm going to have immediately is that they're all just going to start walking outside of the map. Like, look at this guy, he's already started doing it. There's no real logic to stop them from doing that. The game just doesn't have a concept of a collision system at all. I've kind of put it off for so long because, you know, gameplay. But, I mean, look at this. I can't keep having this sort of thing. Okay, let's make the enemy. Let's make the enemy now. Oh my god, I'm getting itchy. Woo! I'm so glad we don't have these bastards over here. Like, come to think of it, there's not very many things that are looking to kill you over in the UK. Except for maybe some of the locals. We've got no bears, we've got no wolves, we've got no termites. Okay, that's a pretty big stabby. I don't like the look of that. I think I'm just gonna wing it. Like, that might be easier. So what you want, realistically, is a bit of a body at the front. What I think I'll do a few of them, because it'd be good to have a worker, a soldier and a queen, and then I'll get them into the game, but I'll get him in first just to check that it like looks okay, because the colour scheme might not match. I'm just so limited, but you know, I thought 256 colours would be loads, but anyway, I mean, this looks fine for the moment, so let's get him in the game. Yeah, he fits quite well. He just needs a bit of an animation, doesn't he? I just kind of need to eat something. I'm starving. So I'll be back in a sec. Hello there. This is post-edit Other Mythos, and I'm back here for the Christmas holidays, so not able to record the end of that video. But I mean, the underground nest system is mostly there, which is good. So I think I'm going to leave you on this sneak preview of next week, which is the collision system.